welcome back to the channel. So we are going to work some more on our color along that we've been doing out of Colormorphia by Kerby Rosanes. And today we are going to be doing the gold side of the image, and I'm going to be using my Kuretake Gansai Tambi Starry Color watercolor paints for some of this, as well as Prismacolor pencils to do some of it. Now, this is the swatch of the watercolor paints that I have, and I think we are going to use a little bit of this one as well as this one here, which is 901, and this one's 903 if you have this set of paints. If you don't, you can use any other metallic watercolor paints that you have, or even metallic gel pen if you would like. Or you can, of course, use the colored pencils to color it to look like gold. Also would be perfectly fine, which is what we're going to do for part of it. And part of it, like I say, I'm going to use the watercolor paints just because I personally really enjoy doing the different mixed media on one image. So I will get situated and get you zoomed in, and we'll get going. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna might have to try to do my tripod a little differently, so I'm sorry for any movement that may be bothersome for you. But okay, so I'm gonna start with the paint. So I'm just going to open this up. Well, maybe. And lay this out here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put a drop on the two colors that I want to use. And let that start to activate there. Okay, set that next to me, and let me just a little piece of paper towel and put next to me in case my brush gets a little too wet. So my idea, let me zoom back out for a second, I apologize, but my idea is, or what I plan to do, is anywhere that doesn't have the extra shading, extra lines in for like shading and whatnot, like this part here and here, some of this down here, that's where I'm going to put the metallic paint. Anywhere that has the line work, we'll go ahead and use the colored pencils to try to make that look gold as much as possible. Excuse me. Okay, so let's see how well our paint is doing over here. Just gonna get some on my brush, and I will zoom you back in. I'm gonna do the paint part first, and then I'll pause and let that dry, and then we'll come back and we'll work with our pencils. So I have some of the number 903 on my brush at the moment, and I apologize. Of course, I get on camera and I want to lose my voice. I'm just gonna fill in this little area here as best I can. I'm not the most, or don't happen to have the most steady hand, so but I'm gonna do my best to keep it in the lines there. But if you can see, I love this paint. It is so shiny. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I think now I'm going going to go and paint this in here. My cat's in the window, you might hear her. Okay, and then maybe in here, in this little spot. I'm gonna probably have to zoom back out a little so that you can see without me having to move the book constantly. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to work out which areas I want to put this paint down. Okay, and we'll do this ring here. And in here. And I do want to use some of the other color gold too, so I'm gonna try to leave some of the areas that I want to use with a different shade of gold. Okay. Make sure you can see where I'm at. And I guess I should have done a better job of figuring that out before I started. I apologize, guys. Hopefully you don't get too bored. Just really want some pops of the actual shiny gold on here in places. Let's see. Make sure you can see that up there. Try to do this without going outside the lines, but that might be a little tricky. It's a little tiny area. Oh, and I'm off screen. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, let's see. I think I'll switch to the other shade of gold now and do some other parts before I have to move the book. I'm just gonna clean my brush. And I happen to have a jar of plain water that I keep on my desk for when I decide to use watercolor paint or any other kind of paint. I'm just gonna use this because it'll clean the brush a little easier, a little faster. All right, so now I'm going to get 901. Put some of that on my brush. Okay. And with it, I'm going to do this wheel right down here, leaving those spots, the little circles. I'm gonna try not to go over those. Well, try and fill, apparently, but that's okay. I'll fix it later. Probably honestly should be using a smaller brush, but it's okay. Okay, got that one. There's not a huge difference looking at them, the two. One's just a bit more of a bright yellow gold than the other one. Let me see. Let me try to adjust this a little more. Sorry, guys. I just want you to be able to see, not be off screen. Okay, so this one here, I'm going to go around here. And inside this little bit. And then up here. Okay. And I think I'll go along here. Even though there are some shade lines in there. Okay. I may pause the video in a second and go off screen and finish this up. That way you're not having to watch me try to decide where I'm going to put the paint. I don't think I'm going to use a whole lot more of it. Anyway, just want to make sure that there is some on here in some different areas. And I'm back off screen. I apologize. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna go off camera and I'm going to fill in a few more little spots around the page and then I will be back and we will get to coloring. Be right back. All right, so I have finished all the parts that I feel like I want to be gold for now, and over here, and I also did all the little bolts and everything that are on the outside. And then I don't know if you can see it, but I got some of the gold Gansai Tambi paint on my paintbrush and went around and did some splatters around the outside as well. I really like the way that that looks. But now that it's all dry, I think we are going to actually start by me showing you how I'm going to do these wings first, and then we'll do the gold pencil work. And I will show you how I'm going to do most of it, and then we will probably finish it off camera. But this way, you'll see how I'm going to go about it, and hopefully without being too bored from watching me repeat the same steps over and over again. So for the wings, I'm going to use I'm going to use grayed lavender, powder blue, and white. And then once we color these in, we're going to go over top of it with the Folk Art Extreme Glitter Hologram paint. And we're going to do this wing like that, and then the two little parts of the wing over here, I'm going to do the same way once I'm done coloring the gold in. So I'll zoom you back in, and we'll get started on these wings. And we'll do a few sections of the wing, and then, like I say, we will finish it. Or we'll apply the paint, and then I'll finish the rest of the wing off camera for you. So we are going to use powder blue, and I'm going to there it is. Sorry, I was looking for my to-go. I'm going to give this a quick sharpen just to make sure that we're good. Here, both of these a twist. All right, and so now, powdered blue, I'm going to start right here, next where the wing meets the body of the bug, and I'm going to go in with kind of medium to heavy pressure, and then I'm going to lighten up my pressure and feather that out to where I'm not really touching the page, and I'm only going to go about midway with that. And then let me find my I'm so not prepared today. Sorry guys, it's been a while since I have filmed. Well, never mind. I don't see my brush, so we'll just carry on. So next is our grayed lavender, and I'm going to start at the bottom of the wing with this one and work my way up. And again, towards the base of the wing, I'm going to use kind of medium to heavy pressure. And then as I work my way up, I'm going to gradually lower the pressure until I'm basically barely touching the page. And I'm only going to go up to where these two colors start to combine or overlap. And then once we've done that, I'm going to take the white Prismacolor, and I am going to go over top of all of this with the white. It just kind of helps get rid of the white spot and kind of blend these two together and burnish it into the page a little bit more. just like that. And we'll do the same for the next section of the wing. Again, just start at the top, medium to heavy pressure, slowly decrease your pressure, and only go about midway down the section of the wing. Start back from the bottom with the gray lavender and do the same, but work your way up. So medium to heavy pressure, lightening up your pressure as you go. And once they have been overlapped, we'll take the white and go over all of it. Okay. And I'm going to do one more section of this wing, and then we'll use the paint. Okay, back in with the powder blue. Well, actually, I might do a couple more. This section and then one more. This section is very thin. Again, gray lavender. There are so many different ways that you can do wings, but I tend to always use my more pastel shades of like blue and purple, and sometimes I even use the pink and orange and yellow, different, you know, but I usually tend to use the pastel colors, and because I like to put something clear but glittery on top. Okay, powder blue. Okay, we'll go in here, and again, just lighten up your pressure. You're barely touching that page. And then do the purple, the gray lavender along the bottom. Make sure I'm not blocking you from being able to see what I'm doing. Again, I'm sorry for any noise you might hear. My kitten is right in front of my desk in the window playing. And knocking my curtain around. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in on top of that with white. All right, so there's that so far. And so now I'm gonna take the Folk Art Extreme Glitter Paint. I'm not gonna pour this into a palette. I'm not gonna bother doing that. You could, and it's probably a better idea to do that, but I'm not going to. Just for the sake of time. But okay, so I'm gonna open my bottle and just dip my brush down in the paint. Now this paint, it looks white, but it will dry clear with just glitter. So this is what it looks like when you get it on your brush. And we're just going to apply this to the page. Again, it dries clear, so don't let that scare you if you see what looks like white on your paper there. And you can always do more than one coat of this if you would like. But this is very glittery, if you can see that. I'm hoping that that's picking up on camera. Let me zoom out for just a second. See if maybe you can see it a little better. All that sparkle. But that's the way I'm gonna do the whole entire wing over here and these two parts here. So I think I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna go off camera and finish the wing, and then I will come back and we will carry on with coloring in the gold. All right, I shall be right back. All right, I'm back and I've got the wings all finished, and they have, I went ahead and applied the paint and they've dried, and I'm hoping that the camera is picking up all that sparkle. I love that paint. It is gorgeous and it's so glittery. But all right, so now we will zoom in and we'll get started doing the gold parts. And the colored pencils that I'm going to use for that, let me zoom you in a little bit so you'll be able to see the pencils a little better. Or after I turn them around in my hand. Okay. Colors I've chosen are dark umber, sienna brown, yellow ochre, sand, and lemon yellow. It's the same color combination that we used for this part of the wing here. So we will zoom in and we'll get started. I'm probably not going to do all of this on camera, as I would imagine that would probably get quite boring for you all, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it and try to explain how I'm going to decide where to put like the darkest colors and whatnot. So Kerby is really good about putting in a lot of dark lines where there should be your shaded areas. So those areas are where I'm going to concentrate my darkest colors at the most. So we're going to start up here, and I'm going to start with my darkest color, which is dark umber, and where you have all these tight black line work here is where I'm going to start with that. And I'm just going to start with some heavy pressure and fade that out a little bit and just come down just a little. And then where there's more lines in here, I'm going to also put this dark umber. And then try to leave a little bit of a feathered edge around that. And then I'm just going to come along these lines with a little bit of this as well. Just a little. Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to go in over top of that with our sienna brown. And again, I'm going to go start right here and fade down. Leave a light feathery edge. Again, go over this and leave as much of a light feathery edge around that as we can. And then go over where we put that along those lines, just a tiny, tiny bit. Just to try to give it more of a three-dimensional look, hopefully. Anyway, that's the goal. And then the next color is yellow ochre. Again, go over top of what we've laid down and feather that out. And same in here. And go along the lines as well. Just a little. And our next color is sand. And we'll do the same thing yet again. For all that. Go around the line work. And then lastly is our lemon yellow. And with this one, we will go over all of that. Kind of blend those colors together and give it kind of a highlight in the areas we left white. And there is that. So it's basically what we're going to do for all of this and kind of how we're going to do it. So I'm going to attempt to do, it depends on how long it takes, but all of this with the arms and down to about where the wings are down here, and then I'll do the remainder off camera in the same manner that I do this up here. Okay, so back again with our dark umber, and we're going to be working on this right in here, and along where these dark lines are, put some of that and fade it out. Then our sienna brown, go over that, feather that out. Yellow ochre over top of that and fade it out. Sand. And lastly, our lemon yellow. Just like that. Now this area here, there's lines that go up and down. So I'm gonna go along this top line, which this is a very small area, but still, and along the bottom line of that. And then do the same with the sienna brown, go over that. Top and bottom line. Then the yellow ochre. Sand. And then the lemon yellow. And I'm actually going to sharpen my lemon yellow really quickly. Sorry for the movement. Okay, so right in there. Just like that. I'm gonna do the same here with the dark umber, where these darker lines are. Put some of that and fade it out. And then go along these lines here, these outside lines. And go over that with sienna brown. Fade that out. And go along the outside line. Yellow ochre. Sand. And lemon yellow over everything. Okay. All right, and now for this, like horn looking shape. I'm gonna take this dark umber and I'm gonna go along the outside lines. And try to leave a soft edge. And do the same with the sienna brown, take that over top of the dark umber. Yellow ochre. Sand. Again with the dark umber. Okay, and I'm going to do a couple of these parts all at the same time. Coming along this line here. And then this area, we'll go over this where the dark line work is and fade that out. Again here, fade that out, and then go along all the outside edges just a little. Okay. Go over top of that with this sienna brown. And excuse me, next is yellow ochre. Okay. Sand. And lastly, lemon yellow. Of course, if you don't like this combination for the gold, or you don't happen to have this set of pencils, you can use whatever combination you like. Okay, and now this area around this nail here, I'm gonna take the dark umber and try my best, and there's not a lot of room, to go along this outside circle and then go around the edge of the nail as well, best I can. And then sienna brown. Yellow ochre. Sand. And lemon yellow. Okay. Now, let's move over here and start doing this arm. So again, with the dark umber, I don't think I'm going to get as much done without making this, as I planned, without making this video be way too long. So I think we're probably about 30-40 minutes in now. So I may do the arm, and that may be as far as we get. And if you guys really, really want to watch me finish the rest on camera, just leave me a comment and I'll try to do that for you. But it's basically going to be just kind of how I'm doing this, how I've done this so far. Anywhere, like I say, where there's black line work, that's where we'll concentrate our darker colors, and go also along the edges, the outside lines of those areas as well. Mainly just repeating the same steps over and over, which is why I worry that you'll get bored listening to me tell you to do the same thing. But if you would be interested, then just leave a comment and I'll save the rest and do it in another part, or at least some more of it in another part. Okay, next is going to be our yellow ochre. Sand. We're just going over what we've laid down, extending it a little and feathering it out. Make sure that you can see the whole area I'm working on. Okay, and lastly, lemon yellow. I'll fill in that white spot. Go over that just a little. I've got to find my brush. Now some of these tiny details like here and stuff, I was kind of afraid to try to get with the watercolor paint because I'm not that good with a brush. Like I said, my hands aren't the greatest at being steady. So for those, I am probably going to use my gold Sparkle Pop gel pen to fill in any of the teeny tiny areas that are too small for that were too small for the paintbrush and for to do the whole color combination with. Okay, I think I'll give it a few more minutes. I'll do a couple more areas and then that will probably be where we end this video. Let's see if I can find a brush. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. It's driving me crazy. Oh, I think yeah. I know where one is. Yes, found it. There we go. All that dust on there was driving me crazy because I couldn't wipe it away. All right, so back to our dark umber. In here and along this outside edge again. Oops. It's okay, it'll blend in. Not too worried. There. And there. Okay. And then I'm going to go around the outside of this, but I'm not going to be too concerned with going over top of that line work when we finish coloring that in. All right, so next to Sienna Brown, we'll go over that. yellow ochre. Next is sand. And then lastly is our lemon yellow. And let's see, we'll do this little section, dark umber, fade it over this way, and along that outside edge, and along in here. Put a little bit right in here, and go along these outside edge. Okay. Next will be sienna brown. Go over what we did. Okay. Yellow ochre. And sand next. And then lemon yellow. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna end that there for today. That right there is basically how I'm gonna do this whole other side. Again, if you would really like to see me finish it on camera, just leave me a comment below and I will try to do that for you. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this and I hope that you are coloring along with me. Or if not, just having fun watching. If you like this video or videos like these, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. And hit the bell if you want to receive notifications of when I upload future content. And leave me a comment down below. Leave me a comment saying hi or how you're doing or if you're doing the color along, anything at all. But yeah, so until next time, stay safe and happy coloring. Bye guys.